Hello students, how are you? So in the previous video we were discussing about how can we increase the yield by providing all the nutrients to the plants. Okay, let's quickly revise what we discussed in that, and then we'll be moving forward. So first process in increasing the yield, we discussed about using manure. Okay, manure is prepared by using animal excreta and plant waste. Then what are the functions, or you can say the features of manure? The manure mainly contains organic matter which increases the fertility of the soil. It contains nutrients in small quantities which are supplied to the soil on adding manure. Okay, the soil structure also enhanced is due to manure. It tends to hold more amount of water. The organic matter avoids waterlogging and drainage in clayey soil. Manure is purely organic, hence using more manure is completely healthy for plant as well as the environment. Using manure is a way to recycle farm waste. Then we discussed about what is composting. I told you that the process of recycling farm waste by decomposing it is called composting, and product formed is compost. Okay, the material that is used in the preparation of compost is animal excreta, sewage waste, vegetable waste, and weeds. So this was what we discussed about. Okay, that how to use manures. In this video we will be starting with classification of manure. So compost and vermicompost manure, two types of manure that we are going to discuss, or you can say differentiate, that is the compost and the vermicompost. Compost, a manure prepared from waste materials such as cow dung, sewage, vegetable waste, and domestic waste, that is the compost. But a manure that is prepared by using earthworms, it is vermicompost. Compost, it takes around 3 to 6 months in formation, whereas vermicompost takes around 1 to 2 months in formation. Compost, the microbes decay the matter and manure is formed. Vermicompost, earthworms reduce the matter and compost is formed. Clear? So this is the classification of manure, and we can say that there are two types of manure, that is the simple compost and another is the vermicompost. Compost, it is the manure prepared from waste material such as cow dung, sewage, vegetable waste, and domestic waste, whereas a vermicompost is prepared by using earthworm. Compost, it takes around 3 to 6 months in formation, whereas a vermicompost takes around 1 to 2 months of formation. Okay, the microbes decay the matter and manure is formed in the case of compost, whereas in case of vermicompost, earthworms reduce the matter and compost is formed. Second, green manure. Okay, the first one was compost and the vermicompost, and the second is green manure. Sometimes specific plants are grown and then plowed again in the soil. These plants decay and turn into manure which enriches the soil mainly with nitrogen and phosphorus. Plants that are used in production of green manure are hemp, clover, peas, grass, mixtures, etc. Okay, so what happens, that plants are grown on the soil and they are then again plugged and mixed with the soil. So what does it do? It increases the content of nitrogen as well as phosphorus in the soil, because you know that in the atmosphere nitrogen is in the form of N2, that is N triple bond N, and it cannot be used, but plants use because of the different bacteria that are present in the soil that help in conversion of the nitrogen, and that useful nitrogen converted into useful compounds. Okay, and in this way the plants use that. So once that plant is again plugged again into the soil or mixed with the soil, then these plants decay and turn into manure and enriches the soil mainly in nitrogen and phosphorus. The plants that are used in the production of green manure are hemp, clover, peas, and grass mixture. Now these are some green manure crops: cluster bean, cowpea, sesbania, and etc. So next thing is using fertilizers. Okay, we are discussing that how we can increase the yield of the crop. So first that we discussed was about using manure. The second that we are going to discuss is using fertilizers. Fertilizers are artificial materials that are produced on a commercial basis or natural substances that ensure nutrient benefits to the soil. Okay, these are the artificial materials that are produced on a commercial basis or natural substances that ensure nutrient benefits to the soil. Organic fertilizers used by farmers that are limestone rock phosphate, whereas artificial fertilizers used by farmers are ammonium nitrate, potassium sulfate. Okay, you need to remember these names, very important. So what are the fertilizers? These are the artificial material that are produced on a commercial basis or natural substances that ensure nutrient benefits to the soil. Okay, what we are doing with the manure? See, it was a natural process and it was produced by the nature. Okay, it also ensures nutrient benefits to the soil. And similarly fertilizers, but they are the artificial materials and these are produced on a commercial basis. Features of fertilizers. Fertilizers provide important nutrients such as nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus to the soil. They help in proper growth of the plants. They are responsible for high yields in the high cost farming methods. Clear? So you might have seen a farmer sprinkling of fertilizers in the field, a white color powder, sometimes also with the help of mixing it with the water and then spraying it also. Okay, that is also a fertilizer. You might have seen spraying of fertilizers. Okay, for example, in this way it is used by the hand, and sometimes it is also done by that machine that in which the fertilizers is mixed with the water and then sprayed into the plants. Okay, so again, what are the features of fertilizers? They provide important nutrients such as nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus to the soil, help in proper growth of the plants, and responsible for high yield in the high cost farming method. Okay, but it is not said that if there are very good things of fertilizers, then there are some bad things, or you can say some negative points of the fertilizers as well. Okay, so now we will be discussing what are the precautions that we should need to take while using the fertilizers. Precautions with fertilizers. Fertilizers should be applied in proper amount, as an excess of fertilizers is not good for the plants. Okay, means the fertilizer that is to be feed to the soil or applied on the soil, it should be limited in amount. Okay, otherwise excess of fertilizer, it may be not good for the plants or soil. Proper precautions regarding the time of applying fertilizer should be taken. Now what can be happen if excess use of fertilizers is done? It can lead to water pollution, as the extra fertilizers get washed away during irrigation, and the excess use of fertilizers can destroy the fertility of the soil as well. So because fertilizers are the chemical substance, okay, so using it in a proper amount is okay, but using in excess, it can destroy the fertility of the soil. It may lead to water pollution as well as soil pollution also. Okay, because it will be ultimately mixing into the soil, and during irrigation it may get washed away, and so it also lead to water pollution. So these are the certain precautions that you need to take when you are using fertilizers. Now, how fertilizers and manure are different? Okay, very important. Sometimes this question is also asked. So let's see, how are fertilizers and manure different? First, manure provides humus to the soil, but the fertilizers, they do not provide humus to the soil. manures are less rich in nutrients. They are rich in nutrients, but comparatively to the fertilizer, they are less rich in nutrients, whereas fertilizers are highly rich in nutrients. Long-term usage of manure leads to increment in the fertility of soil, but long-term usage of fertilizers can lead to decrease in the soil fertility. Okay, so I hope the difference is clear to you all. That manure, it provides humus to the soil. What is humus? It is a dark brown substance, okay, which is very rich in nutrients. It also enriches the or increases the water holding capacity of the soil. It increases the fertility of the soil. Whereas if we talk about fertilizers, they do not provide any humus to the soil. They may be highly rich in nutrients, the fertilizers, but the long term uses of the fertilizers, it can lead to decrease in the soil fertility. Whereas manures may be less rich in nutrients, but if you are using it continuously as well as for the long term, the manure leads to the increment in the fertility of the soil, and it also does not lead to the decrease in the soil fertility as well as no soil pollution. Next that we are going to start is, what is organic farming? A farming practice which involves no use of artificial chemicals, fertilizers, and pesticides, and completely relies upon organic matter is known as organic farming. Organic farming uses healthy cropping systems such as crop rotation, intercropping, and mixed cropping. And organic matter used in organic farming are, for example, manure, bioagents such as blue-green algae, biofertilizers, neem leaves, and turmeric as biopesticides. Okay, so a farming practice which involves no use of artificial chemicals and fertilizers and the pesticides. What are pesticides? That are used to kill unwanted living organisms that are into the field, in the crop field. Okay, it completely relies upon the organic matter. What it uses is the healthy cropping system, that such as crop rotation, means different kinds of crops are sowed at different times, intercropping, and mixed cropping. Okay, organic matter used in the organic farming are manure. We just discussed the difference between manure and a fertilizer, and we told you that manure, it is a natural thing, and it may be less rich in nutrients, but it does not affect the soil fertility. Even long term uses, it increases the soil fertility. Okay, next is bioagents such as blue green algae. These are the microorganisms which helps in easy uptake of the nutrients for the plants. Biofertilizers, and neem leaves and turmeric as biopesticide, not using any chemicals to kill a particular organism, but using neem leaves and turmeric as the bio living pesticides for killing those organisms that are unwanted into the soil. Elements of organic farming, you can see it includes vermicompost, green leaf manures. Okay, crop rotation, you can see the diagram, crop rotation, different types of crops. Okay, biological management, animal husbandry, and biofertilizers. Okay, so these all elements include organic farming, means no artificial product, no chemical fertilizers, etc. And you can say that organic farming, the product from the organic farmings are very useful for our body. Okay, but on the other hand, if we say that using of chemical fertilizers is not only harmful for soil or water, but it is also harmful for human body. Clear? So in this video we discussed about how to increase the yield of the plant by using manure, by using fertilizers, and then we discussed about the organic farming. Clear? In the next video, students, we will be discussing one more aspect of this farming, that is irrigation. Okay, so till then, students, stay inside your house, keep studying, and do make proper notes of the videos that are being uploaded. Okay, take care of yourselves. Thank you and have a nice day.